we received a lot of good insights and actually a lot of data, which always helps you to improve the quality, work on your product. So without data, you are blind. But yeah, in our case, it was quite good.
Great. So happy to hear that. Congrats.
Okay.
Okay, people are joining. That's awesome.
That's great that we've got an audience. My personal feeling that it would be more productive if people can react to what I'm saying, because I don't want to be like a lecture in the university. Ideally, we should have an open conversation, and if somebody can share your thoughts or react, I'll make some pauses in the middle of the talk. Ahmed, it would be nice to get your view, personal view. So why we don't have an open conversation here? I believe that it would be much more productive than just me speaking about product management skills and career ladder, blah blah blah. So
Definitely, everybody here can unmute at any point and interact right away. The
Yes.
more engagement, the better. So please, everyone, whenever you want to unmute and ask a question, just raise your hand and shoot.
Yeah, I agree that there is no one answer to the topic that we are covering today, right? So more people will speak, the better results we'll get. So why not?
Yep.
Beautiful. Just give a call when you think we are ready to start.
Yeah.
I'm personally ready, so maybe we can kick off.
I think we're good. Yeah, let's start.
Sure. So, guys, thanks everyone who's joining. I see more people are coming. It's great to see a lot of people are interested in the topic that we discussed with Ahmad. So that's a great thing. I'll start with a short introduction while more people are coming. I'll just for your better understanding what is my background and what I'm doing. I put here the main highlights from my career. I started as a software engineer more than 10 years ago in my bachelor degree in computer vision and AI. That's a fun fact that more than 10 years ago, people been building such products and it's still relevant. But the good thing is I switched to the product design. I was leading a group of products as a designer. But after that, you may be familiar with the product management industry and how it's changed. So let's say 8 years ago, the industry just started and new titles appeared. So for example, I became a product lead. I started to lead a group of products for autonomous manufacturing here in the United Kingdom. And my goal was to enable with the software the highly automated robotic plant. So I've been working a lot with the different product companies as a consultant, but we launched a product management school, which is currently closed. But at that point of time, it was a perfect timing because industry just started. So we created something like a product management hub where people can express their ideas openly and speak about product management. So that's, I think, the most important one. And yeah, now I'm teaching human-computer interaction because it's my passion. I'm an active professor in the Constructor University in Bremen, in Neapolis on Cyprus. And that's just my expertise. Yeah, I spent many years building highly automated HMI systems. So that's my passion. That's what I do. And yeah, we had a great startup 6 years ago. It was called Graphica. It's a visual inspiration for designers. It's currently closed, but we pivoted to the design studio, and I got a beautiful product, which is called Product Map. It's an all-in-one knowledge base for the product makers. So long story short, I love everything what is about building digital products. I especially love automation and robotics. I like playing basketball. I live in London, just moved 2 days ago, new apartment here. And yeah, follow me if you want to just find me with the same tag in all social media.
Thanks a lot, Matvey. I really appreciate appreciate your time with us today, and we're really looking forward to not having it's just the first webinar, but the first of many. Definitely. I just want to reiterate that for everybody, please, the more you engage, the better. So at any point, please raise your hand, and once Matvey can take questions, he will pause during the presentation. And yeah, we at Plus are really happy that we're starting this webinar and looking forward to it.
Nice. I'll open chat, by the way, if somebody wants to text there. So it's also
it is open chat. Everybody can do everything. So yeah, no limitations. I'm here to regulate if somebody forgot their mic, for example. But other than that, everything's open.
Beautiful. At least we'll speak with you, right? So that's already something.
Yeah.
So what's the main problem that I want to address in this particular talk? So market is changing. So you know that now with AI tools, endless LinkedIn posts, there are so many different opinions, views. If I don't know, you just search in ChatGPT, you'll find so many irrelevant results. So maybe some let's say information which is very outdated, but some information is just optimized for geo. And I mentioned that a lot of things are changing in education, the way how people grow. So nobody want to commit to 6 or 1 year courses about product management. Nobody actually read books as it previously. So people want to try things on practice. They need to complete tasks because everything is speeding up. So the digital world is changing. So sometimes it makes sense to make a step back and think about some system and structure, how we can grow, especially if you want to get some very specific results, if you are looking for the new job, if you're changing from one role to the product management. It's very important to keep an eye on only what's important. So that's why ideally we should develop something that gives us an opportunity to see the high level picture, and after that narrow down into very specific things, and always keep the theory practical. So just apply things, try things, but at the same time grow in the different directions. And first of all, I believe that I'll start with the basics, but the understanding what is product management is actually very important. And maybe it's a bit boring because we'll have practical and very hands-on suggestions how to improve things and how to grow. But at the same time, we always need to step back and understand better what actually the product management is. And I want to make a pause here. I actually want to ask you guys, how do you describe in your own words what is product management? So what product managers should do? Feel free to share your thoughts, guys. Let's try how we...
anyone wants to unmute or share with us on chat?
I personally seen so many different views on that, and different companies that require different things. In different countries, people understand product management differently. So create, manage, maintain, and change digital products. That's a very good one. Actually, it describes product management quite precise because you covered the whole product management life cycle. So from the beginning till the end. That's a good one, Asad. Thank you, Asad, if I pronounce it correctly. But yeah, that's a very good one. Great. Anybody else? Okay. So actually, that's the whole slide. Looking for products that fit to market. Yeah, the product discovery is very important. Feel free. Okay, that's a good one. Yeah, Rushdie, right? Rushdie. I agree with you completely. That's a very important part because the way how we find products is very important. I'll address the same suggestion that Asad had from the Ravi's method point of view. You should know who it is. It's like the big person in the product world. But in 2020, he introduced the product management competencies map. And I believe it's still relevant. A lot of things changed in the last 5 years, but in a simple way, how he described it, product managers build products, product leaders build products, plus people and companies. And that's a great addition to what Asad said, because it's not only about building products, right? Sometimes you interact with the different people, stakeholders, and that's why sometimes it's not only about actually building products, right? So it's bigger. The way how he structured, and I think that's a great structure. The product management competencies, you got 4 key groups like product execution, customer insight, product strategy, and influencing people. I would say that's not very technical competencies map. There are a lot of things that actually happen in the background, but as a high-level view, that's a very good one. And again, it was, let's say, almost the first one that was introduced to the product management community, and a lot of other competence maps, they've been built upon of that. For example, another one that was built by Pavel Hrin, maybe you know his map. It contains 8 product management categories: business and strategy, execution, people, data analytics, product discovery, experimentation, product marketing, and product growth. And as a very high-level view, I think it's also a great one. But as a generic one, it has obviously some gaps. The good point about these competencies map and structure was that he introduced some sort of assessment, which was like a Google spreadsheet, a survey with 32 questions. You complete the survey, and after that, you receive your points. Where are you? But at the same time, you can see here, he structured it for 6 key roles: product owner, product manager, senior product manager, product marketing manager, growth product manager, and the head of product. But if you will analyze what exactly on this slide, if you will dive into the details and read what he wrote as a guide, that's quite a common misunderstanding between product owner and product manager. So product manager is something bigger than product owner. That's not the same thing. So sometimes product owners, they are more technical than product managers. And yeah, product managers change their focus more on the product discovery phase or marketing and so on. So it means that's still not the ideal structure, but it's still the structure. It gives you a very detailed view, so where you need to grow. And what I personally like about these structures, that they bring some clarity. So you can always map yourself and understand where you are. There are many companies that introduce their own models. You can find on Google, and we collected resources. If you want, I can send you some links afterwards. There are open skill maps of Intercom, Spotify, Figma, many tech companies from FinTech publish it. So for example, in the UK, Vice published their product management skill structure, because every company has its own needs, right? So the industries, they are different. Some companies, they are small startups and they've got very, let's say, well-established product culture. Some companies, they are a bit older and product culture is not very well developed because of the legacy, for example. But everybody wants to have the same view, at least on the generic structure. So that's why, first of all, I think it would be great to build something that covers, let's say, 80%, and after that, build additional extra pieces to the structure based on the very specific requirements. That's actually the way how we introduced at the beginning of 2025 the skill management guide. So we started structure the knowledge from different companies, from from different industries in order just to bring the structure, which is not ideal. It's also has many gaps. A lot of things could be added here, but it's something that is like a common thing. I believe that there is nothing nothing extra here, so you can't say that it's not needed. At the same time, you can always add something else. So how it's structured: 5 groups: product, customer, analytics, processes, and people. And under each particular group, we've got 3 sub-skills. So for the product, it's strategic impact, business goals ownership, product discovery. For the customer, it's user experience, a voice of customer, and product marketing. For analytics, fluency with data, measuring progress and KPIs, and stakeholder management. That's a very controversial one here, but still we need to put it somewhere. Processes, it's product vision, planning, backlog management, and software engineering. And the last one about people, it's communication, team leadership, and people development. So why we end up with this particular list? So first of all, we analyzed different job positions and requirements. We analyzed different structures that exist in the specific companies and generic ones that I started with. The second one, we tried to keep things simple, so without any additional details. So that's very important for the high-level view. And the main idea was to put some specific topics or learning materials under this skills diagram, so you can always rely to the particular section, and you always can adjust what is required and some specific topics to this particular structure. So just to explain all these 5 pillars. So again, strategic impact, obviously, it's about setting the strategy and align with the business goals. Business goals ownership at the same time, it's the way how we define and measure outcomes which drive value for the whole organization. Product discovery, one of the most important skills that was mentioned by Roshdi. That's a focus on the customer problems and identify opportunities from the market. So customer, that's the most important one. So product managers focus on that a lot. It contains user experience, obviously the broad topic and a very important skill to be developed. Voice of the customer, which analyze user needs and how to prioritize them. And product marketing, obviously finding different channels and ways how you can bring your product to the market. Same as analytics. It's, again, we can't say that it's less important. It's just another type of skills. So fluency with data, it's still growing, and a way how we can analyze insights from data collected in order to make better data-driven decisions. Same as measuring progress and KPIs, ability to define metrics and track them. Stakeholder management, the way how you align different teams and different stakeholders and managing their expectations, also is still relevant, obviously. And processes. So these 3 high-level skills like backlog management, product vision and planning, and software engineering, they are all still relevant, even if product manager leads the development team, or just communicate with them. It depends on the way how it's structured within your company, but all these skills are still relevant. So we still define the backlog, we prioritize it, we align it with the high-level goals in order to build the roadmap, and we organize and facilitate the development processes in order to deliver the best quality products. And finally, again, product management, it's like everything in our world, it's all about people. So it's the communication, team leadership, and people development are very important, because if you are growing as a product manager, you always can interact more with different departments, and your communication bubble is growing very fast. So I know that it's a bit boring, a lot of information here, but I want to show you the structure that we try to build in our platform, so we can bring more clarity to the way where are you. So first of all what you need to complete the assessment, and I personally just exported my LinkedIn profile and my CV. Obviously not the best representation of the experience, but I'm showing you the platform, how it works. There is no editing video here. It's just a simple assessment that builds your profile based on your experience. So it takes less than 30 seconds, but at the end, you've got the detailed assessment of your skills, the structure that I showed to you recently. And yeah, that's my personal profile. So it shows me where I am, what my skills are the best ones, where I am in terms of the industry rank, because we completed more than 1,000 assessments and we've got some data about product management industry. And in addition to that, it's not just show you your skill level, but shows you where you need to improve. And in comparison with different grades, it's also show you where are you. So what's more important that it's the generic system. It could be changed. So we don't have any hard-coded skills here, so we can adjust our assessment to the specific needs. And this structure of the skills that I provided to you, the very specific requirements of each skill is also adjustable. I think that's the most important idea, that it's not something that is written in stone, that you can't change that. And after that, we can suggest a very specific growth plan based on where are you. And you can ask me, do I really need all these skills to be a good product manager or leader? And what is the most important skills right now? So I would ask you a question, because you do the product management at the work. Maybe you're a product leader somewhere in the enterprise or the startup, doesn't matter. So what do you think will be the most important skill, the one that I showed? I'll leave this slide just to keep the references. And guys, feel free to share your thoughts. So if you pick one of the 15, which is the most important one from your case, or top 3, for example? Let's share your thoughts. All right. Feel free to unmute or send a message in the chat. It's up to you guys. I'm just asking your opinions on what's your top skills. Product customer first, then analytics, processes, and finally people. Okay, that's your view. That's a good one. Yeah.
For me, it's always people first, to be honest. So basically, it starts with people and ends with people, and the value that we're bringing to people. That's how I think about it in product.
I agree. A lot of people move to the product management without product management skills, right? Because they've been great team leaders. They can organize people, and that's already a very good skill. But that's also a good point. Anybody else? Mm-hmm. All right. Then I just want to share the view that we came up in order to structure the overall growth. And obviously, different companies, they've got different levels. So sometimes it's a simplified version of 3 levels. Sometimes it's 7 levels of different product management grades. Again, it depends on the company and very specific needs. But if we generalize, then we can say there is an associate product manager or junior product manager who just supports the discovery and delivery of very specific features. At the same time, they are growing. Middle product manager or product manager, but sometimes people put more in the general product manager, owns, can we say the same about product operations? That's a good one. So we'll cover product operations later. I'll mention that. but mostly product operations, they are very linked and connected with the product management, right? Because they support a lot of product management activities. So that's almost the same thing. Yeah, that's a very good question, actually. Pavel said business goals. Thanks, Pavel, for joining. Middle product manager owns features and drives executions and work across different teams, technical one, marketing, sales, whatever, support. Senior product manager, the main difference here is that senior PM leads major initiatives. It's not just features. So you can see even here on this radar that mostly the big change between the middle to senior is the way how they strategically can improve the product and influence the product. Director level or C level, they are slightly different. And as I said, sometimes it depends on the company which hierarchy exists. So maybe you've got different titles here, like a head of product, product leader, or VP, SVP, EVP, CPO, whatever structure of your company is. We've seen many of them. But the principal difference is product director manage multiple products, and usually senior product manager doesn't lead the group of products or very specific portfolio of products, and that's the bigger task, right? To organize the group of products. And C-level usually shapes the overall company vision for the product management and also the product strategy, also focuses more on the culture. So if you see here, the distribution of skills is slightly different. So obviously all skills related to the people should be the maximum level, right? So because that's basically the main goal. So just to highlight the difference, I'll briefly cover that. It's not the main idea of this talk, but if you transition from junior to middle, obviously your own features more, you're focusing more on the planning and delivery, you focus more on the execution and the way how you drive the cross-functional collaboration. And one of the main tasks is to align the whole stream of your product with the product strategy. So the difference in the skills are very obvious. So the infographics show here the difference. So the yellow one is the junior, middle is the change. So you see the shift here. So the same for middle and senior. If you see, the radar is growing. So senior product manager usually leads bigger initiatives, as I said, but also they mostly focus on the analyzing markets, finding customer needs and product discovery. And sometimes what's very important that senior product managers, they start mentor and support other PMs. And that's where the people skills are being very important, and the change here is also very visual. You can see it here. At the same time, senior PMs usually work with data more, and so they analyze data, they got insights from it, and that's one of the areas where the difference in the tasks is very visual. From senior to director, transition is very obvious. As I said, it's mostly focused on the extending the product portfolio and working with the bigger scope. In terms of the major differences, it's also the working on a bigger strategy, working closely with different teams to align with the business goals. And priorities and scope is bigger. So that's why usually you need to work with bigger teams and align different stakeholders if it's a bigger company, because usually director role exists in bigger startups than just 20 people, right? And C-level, obviously, the focus on the company product vision and strategy and the bigger roadmap. So what's very important is that setting up the product culture and bringing the whole product management domain to the organization, is one of the key tasks. So, but it doesn't mean that they don't do anything else, right? If you see here on the chart, the distribution is changing. So some focuses are changing. So for example, CPOs usually don't manage brick clock precisely. So they don't put a lot of features in the backlog. They don't organize the backlog, so they can participate in the prioritization facilitation workshops or whatever, but at the same time they don't do it by their hands. So again, it's more about setting changing focuses and setting right tasks to others. And yeah, that's a common enterprise model. Maybe I didn't say anything new to you, so that's why I want to bring more a background or context in order to share the latest trends and what's going on right now. So how PM skills are changing. So first of all, I want to ask you a short question. So what do you think personally is changing right now? So obviously market is changing. Obviously everybody wants to deliver better, faster, even with the smaller teams. AI, Ahmad, that's definitely part of my talk. I will cover it later. AI changes a lot, but what's changing it in terms of product management skills and how the role is changing? So that's the most important question.
I think now PMs more need to be hands-on. So we as PMs now are required to do more in comparison to 5 years ago, for example.
Yes.
I think so, because of the latest technologies, the tools that we have, etc.
That's a good point. And I personally say it like startup PMs wear many hats. So sometimes people call it full stack product manager, right? Someone who needs to do everything, right? And know everything. Usually in enterprises, PMs, they've been sharing responsibilities. But right now, yeah, AI is making many roles in one. Yes, product managers usually work as project managers, product owners, scrum master, and all together. That's a great comment, Asa. Thank you. So Hamis is saying, sorry guys if I'm pronouncing name incorrectly. I see the hand, so let me read what's in the chat, and after that I'll pass the word to you. So Hamis, if I pronounce your name correctly, from what I see, product roles becoming more specialized or specific, like Grow PMs, AI PM, and etc. Again, I agree with you. It depends on the company. So or like enterprise PM usually has a very specific focus. That's a very good comment. In the smaller teams, usually product managers, they are not very specialized, so they're more like a full stack product managers. But you're absolutely right. So laser focus helps product manager to achieve better results. So you're absolutely right. Hamdi is saying having a very strong business acumen is gradually becoming essential for product managers. Absolutely agree with you, because now a lot of things just require the very tangible results, like the retention metric should grow, or the revenue obviously should grow, or whatever else is required. But yeah, that's a very interesting part, because a lot of product managers, they didn't come from the business background. So first, I personally, if you've seen the start of this webinar, I've got a software engineering background. Obviously, it helps to drive AI adoption, but nevertheless, I don't have any MBA, right? So that's a very important part. Anything else, guys? Yeah, I see the hand. So where is it? I saw someone raise the hand. Yeah, Sharif, please, you want to jump in?
Yes, I want to add something.
Sure.
The people, as they have many requests, and we need to have a tailored products for them. So we have a startups to solve these products, and of course the flexibility, because like Google and so on, these companies to have a small button in a product
Mm-hmm.
need to have more decisions and to, goes around many stakeholders. So it's very fast and very specific solutions for startups to solve these problems very fast and very delivery time.
Absolutely. Yeah, you summarized it very well. I just 100% agree with you. I want to add a few things that some enterprises they want to be faster, and actually there are a lot of things they are changing even in the bigger companies because they just everybody seen many companies who's got 10 or 20 or 30 people, but they've got the bigger estimation than enterprises, right? So take Lovable as an example, right? Or any other startup that been launched by a small group of people, like Perplexity, for example, or anything else. So yeah, a lot of things are changing, and sometimes the way how the market shifts affects the way how products should be developed. It's highly impacts the way what product managers should do. So let me check comments. I see a lot of them. That's great. I'm very glad to hear the feedback. I also love to see that people engaged, and thanks everyone who participating. So Assad is saying PMs need to have the business perspective similar to the technical perspective. Ooh, that's a very good point. Yeah, because you need to balance between business and development as always. Yeah, it's a very important aspect. And there is sometimes it depends on the product what you're building. So sometimes you're closer to developers, sometimes you're closer to the market and final users. But that's also a big change for product owners who've been closer to the development usually, but now they need to think about how we can deliver our product to market, how we can launch, what is our go-to-marketing strategy. All these things they are they are common because you can develop products quicker. The next question: what are you developing? Why are you developing it? And how to bring it to the market? So that's a very good one. Tamir is saying, if I pronounce it correctly, we've been using AI tools for prototyping solutions to provide clearer views than just through wireframes and documentation. Great point. And the prototyping changed a lot. So there is no such thing like a wireframe with a placeholder text. It just doesn't exist anymore. So 5 years ago, everybody being developing grayscale wireframes in order to show how the interface look like. Now you can build it quicker than design it, right? And with the real data without any placeholders. Now that's a very interesting point, but still not many companies can do that because, for example, if you've got very established product, if you're not starting from the beginning, it's very hard to prototype with AI, but still you can bring very raw idea without final interface, which is integrated with the code database. For the quick prototyping, AI could be the great solution. And Hamis said, especially in small startups where usually there is no engineering manager or scrum master, so sometimes PM is the one responsible to manage the squad, or sometimes vice versa. Guys, I 100% agree and with you because I also got software engineering background. I've been acting as a CTO and a CPO at the same time. I know this. It's a pain in the ass when product manager need to go technical, but it depends on the structure and company. Usually, someone needs to do that because even 10 years ago, before product manager role was established, people been developing products, and it means that usually you just don't need to be called like a product manager or like engineering manager or any other type of manager. People been sharing responsibilities, and launching it without clear titles. Oh my God, that's a good conversation. Thanks to everyone for sharing your thoughts. I'll start sharing mine because, as I said, I prepared a little bit for this webinar. I spent some time thinking and analyzing some insights that we've got. So I personally set 6 directions where I see the major change. So the first one is the full stack PM, or versatility versus specialization. So startup PMs handle different tasks, and you can add here the process management and the project management. So in enterprises, you always split responsibilities because it helps to manage the bigger company. But in a startup, PM has many hats, and they do almost everything what is required in order to build and deliver the best quality product. Speed and ownership. So if you work on Microsoft, or I don't know, in MENA or somewhere, they still want to deliver things fast, but sometimes they've got layers or approvals or something that a little bit slows you down. Startups can ship weekly, and we are targeting ship weekly. They own the full product. Every developer, every team member is a product person. They all contribute into the product. So, for example, product manager can design, create some beautiful vision and the scope. Designer can finalize the user experience, but front-end engineer who is doing that, or back-end developer, they always participate in this process and sometimes can add something on top of that. So even if in this particular example you share responsibilities, but usually startups can ship weekly. And I do remember the great book, it's a Google design sprint, which is supposed to be 5 days from the idea, mapping the scope, prototyping, analyzing the user feedback. Now you can do the same with a marketing campaign. You can ship weekly updates, promote them, spread the word about that, create a marketing campaign in social media or advertising, and get results from your production at the end of the week. So that's a different speed how small companies develop the products. The third one is my favorite one. So startups wants to achieve same results with a fewer resources. So sometimes they rely on AI, automation, or different processes, or sometimes people share different responsibilities. Enterprises have rules that sometimes needed in order to organize many people. Again, responsibilities can be shared across the team members, but I call it as a main change here to be creative with fewer resources. Metrics focus. So sometimes startups focus on many metrics, and sometimes at the beginning you pick the North Star metric, just one. But enterprises, they've got a bigger tracking systems. They've got a lot of information that they can measure, and at the same time spread the metrics across product portfolio, or split long-term metrics from the short-term metrics. The way how startup PMs and enterprise PMs work with metrics is very different. So that's a bigger change. So sometimes you just enable it and track the basics. Sometimes you focus more on the data when you want to get the real data-driven decisions from it. Risk tolerance. Everybody knows if you work in a startup, you make the hire. Okay, do you mean NNR, MMR, ARR? Obviously, the everything what's about retention. Revenue is very important. But you can pick high-level metrics like retention, activation, awareness, or referral metric. It's not only revenue is important. So pick the whole AR funnel, and it's already a great starting point. But usually, if you've got very specific product, you pick what is very relevant to you as an idea. So, for example, how often people interact with a post or any specific comment if you're developing with the social media platform, right? So this metric will show you engagement, it will show you activation, retention, and everything, because it's a very product specific metric. So one of the examples. But at the same time, enterprises, they've got, again, bigger portfolios. Some teams focused on a very specific metrics and improving that. And it's not only revenue or, I don't know, everything what is closer to sales. It could be a product metrics, which are also valuable. Yeah, so risk tolerance, long story short, if you work in a startup, you should be ready to make bigger bets, and always need to think and act faster. And that's the last point, decision making. So startups make calls immediately. So sometimes you don't need even a few minutes in order to align on something, because you just don't have time. Enterprises sometimes require a lot of calls and meetings, so they should be all on the same page to align different stakeholders and departments. So sometimes that slows things down, but at the same time, it actually helps to make better decisions because you've got different views. It doesn't mean that startups doing the wrong calls. It's just about moving faster. What we saw as a data, I want to share some insights. We previously never shared it with anyone, but we saw that a lot of people actually have very good fit in terms of working in a startup. So we've got, as I said, more than 1,000 reports, assessment reports analyzing skills. And a lot of people who are non-PMs, and it's 70% on our platform, they've been acting as a PM or sharing some responsibilities they've been held with. So, for example, you don't have a PM title, you're a product designer, but you're working a lot on the product discovery, analyzing user experience of your competitors in order to get some insights of what should be improved. So in terms of overall fit, so everything what is junior, middle PM or senior PM is perfectly fits requirements. That's a new infographics here. So I end up with 6 points. It's a big change in the requirement, and that's why I call it PM startup PM radar, something that shows the transition from one skill into another. So again, it's a range. Depends on the company and their specific organization needs. But again, 6 points very quickly. End-to-end ownership, meaning that you're always focusing on the problem until the end. So it's not only on like a PM who is working on the backlog and after that says my job is done, I don't care about what's happening after, please develop it and ship it to production. No, the full end-to-end product lifecycle now is your ownership, the area of ownership. Data fluency, and now you don't need any specific skills to work with the data, so it's more about what you can get as an insight. I'll show you later a few practical skills. I still got 12 slides with the practical suggestions, but the data fluency is changing. So now people can easily get insights from the data, run experiments, and learn from them. Just give me a sec. I'll finish the list. Customer discovery. Oh, you want to jump in right now, Ahmad? So what? So sorry for that. So
no, go ahead. I had a question.
Yeah, please. Customer discovery. So the cycle's shortened. So previously, you need to recruit people. You need to conduct the interviews and prototype and get the feedback. So as I said previously, in an ideal world, Google Sprint suggested to do it in 5 days, but now you can do it with the same the same process within the code. It depends on the size of the feature actually and what you are building, but still customer discovery process and the way how you collect feedback, analyze it, and prototype and iterate based on that, it's changing a lot. Growth mindset, not new thing, but still worth mentioning. Now it's even more important to focus on the whole growth funnel. So starting from the brand awareness, activation, acquisition, activation, revenue retention, referral. That's now a mindset that because all these metrics, they are product metrics, right? So starting from acquisition, obviously awareness is not very a product metric, but still that's a mindset. So you always think about your positioning because it impacts everything, about your pricing because it's impacts everything, and at the same time all metrics that you're tracking, they always focused on the growth. Design collaboration, I've seen a lot of changes in the way how people do design right now. So because I believe a lot of design tools, they jumped over what was the initial expectation from them. I am big fan of Figma, but other design tools also changing a lot. And now you can even build code from the design. A lot of tools like even Figma allow you to build your MCP server and collect the information, run some agents. So it changed a lot. So personally, as a skill, the user experience is changing, and the way how you can build that is very different. And yeah, obviously AI, I'll show you next a few tips that I personally believe can help you to improve your work. The way how you can use AI for different scenarios and processes and different activities is now almost endless, because you can play with the different parts of your process, like end-to-end ownership, right? And apply AI for very specific areas. So sorry, Ahmad, please go on with your question. And I also see one from the chat. I'll pick it later. So, yeah, you're first.
I wanted to ask about the previous slide where you were mentioning the numbers from.
All right.
Yeah. Was there something intriguing that you thought, well, this is against what I expected?
That's a great question. Let me think a little bit. What was the biggest surprise for me? It still looks like a normal distribution. I mean, in the middle, you still got the major area is junior, PM, and senior. I think the main insight for me was that a lot of people now changing their role to the product manager, or at least want to be aware about what product management is. So they don't have PM title, but sometimes they just build products, and everybody now have an ability to build a product. So with the different tools, now people started to ask why we are building, what we are building, and the interest in product management. And I personally believe that demand in product management skills is growing. So because the development cycle shortened, now as I said, design collaboration is different. So people started to ask what we are building and why more. And that's, I believe, let's meet, I don't know, after 3 months and check this number. But I would say that trend is going in this direction, that a lot of people, developers, marketers, analysts, designers, engineers, so like quality assurance engineers or DevOps engineers, they are starting asking these fundamental questions, product related questions. So that's my personal feeling. Yeah, I don't know if you agree with me or disagree. Share your thoughts.
No, definitely do. Thanks, Matvey.
All right, so Hamdi is writing in the chat. Speaking of that, and with AI on the rise, some companies in Europe are already moving toward the product engineer role, where software engineers also have product responsibilities. So do you think that traditional product management roles might eventually fade out? Hamdi, that's a very good question. I'll start with some context. So 5 years ago, on some conference, I introduced this, let's say, product engineer role. It was my personal feeling. I even didn't know. I at that point of time, I didn't have many experience engaging with the companies from European Union or UK. I believe that this change happened even before the AI. A lot of people, like for the growing digital industry, started to share the responsibilities. Now it's growing, so this trend is still growing. So I believe that this product engineer role is even more relevant than previously. Moreover, I see the change where product managers now act as a product engineers. Because the role of the product manager is changed, and now you can bring not just product specification like product requirement document, right? But you can build a prototype by yourself. For me, I'm very biased. I've got a software engineering background. I used to code a lot by myself. So for me, it was always easier to build things than just to explain people what to build. But product engineers who develop the quality product, like who cares about security, who cares about everything, how product should be developed in the right way. All these things, they are very important. But product managers can now take some responsibilities from product engineers, and that's why I see that the range of the product engineering, software engineering skills is changing. So what previously PMs been using SQL in order to analyze data, right? So it was a great skill to pull data from the database in order to build a report, or I don't know, somehow integrated with the BI in order to build a report. But now they can build products based on that. So I've seen people who, like product managers, who started to build recommendation systems based on this data or something like that. And it was a prototype, so nobody says that this code goes to the production. But at the same time, it was always hard for many people who switch to the product management, for example, from marketing or from the design. Some people coming from the support or sales, they never been touching code, and for them it was quite unusual. But for me, with the software engineering background, it's easier. I believe that the role where product manager finish his job on the scope level is changing. So now the scope is bigger. So you always focus more on the whole product life cycle. So that's what I see. This perfect makes sense. Agree with you. Thanks, Matvey. You're welcome. So I'm happy to see the question. So Assad, I see your question. With AI today, a PM can easily work in the solo mode as long as the ideation in ready PRD, design, and even technical stack can be done fully by AI. Then development can just start using tools like Lovable and many others. I agree with you. Absolutely agree. That's exactly actually what I said. So now some products and some prototypes can be built without a team. So a lot of things could be shared. And again, it's to my previous slide where I said building things, achieving more results with a fewer resources. So that's what would be an expectation from the product leader, because now it's your responsibility to deliver the product. Try to do it with the less resources, optimize your workflows, and leverage AI if it helps you. All right. So, guys, it's already 1 hour, but I still got a few things to share with you. So, I personally believe that now PMs need to adapt, learn faster, and be open to everything new. So, I've been a learner, active learner since a childhood. I love to learn new things, try different things, but now it's not a trend. So again, PM should become a full stack. Your previously PM's been a T-shaped, so you've got very specific expertise, but you should know everything. So for example, to speak the same language with developers, these words you can find, I don't know, 5 years in different, let's say, webinars. But now you can do things by yourself with the AI and focus on the whole life cycle. So I don't know if you've seen, I hope that you've seen this video because I've been impressed. 4 days ago, obviously, ChatGPT 5 model was released, but the video on YouTube shows very specific product management skills. Oh, so like case. It was from customer feedback that like someone shared the random ideas about how application could be improved, but at the end it was a working travel app prototype. Guys, have you seen this video on YouTube? I'll send you a video right now in the chat if you want. But
Yes, please.
yeah, have you seen that? No?
On YouTube, no, I saw the other one, but I didn't see this specific case.
Okay, I'll send it just right now. I mean, that's insane. I mean, it's a very specific product management skill. I mean, nobody was previously sharing ChatGPT in case of the product management, let's say, scenario. Yeah, but now it was even in an update that they launched recently. So I'll share the video with you just right now. Give me a sec.
I can see he's giving it option A, B, and C, wireframing, prioritization, and slicing user segments. It's
Yes.
definitely PM use case.
Check after the webinar the video that I shared in the chat. So it actually shows the whole cycle from the exporting insights and customer feedback, creating the scope, prioritizing scope, selecting top features, and building the application, like which actually it's a code, web-based code, which addresses this feature. And it's the video, just for your reference, 2 minutes long. That's exactly what you can do. Obviously, there are many tools like Lovable or bold.dev, many tools that allow you to build apps. Now I know that even Lovable is GPT-5 model based, so a lot of things are changing. But my point is that we need to adapt, we need to learn, and the best thing is to try things by yourself. So you don't need to just learn things and stay up to date. You need to try things as soon as they've been released, because maybe you will find some ideas how to automate your tasks. I collected different use cases that I personally use a lot, and these new PM skills, they require some tools and some thinking. So I'll share some tools that you can try. I'm not promoting them, I just personally like them. But if we address the product group of skills, so for example, product discovery or strategic impact, I listed 5. So solution ideation and product strategy challenging, I think that's where AI could help. So it doesn't matter which LLM you're using, but when you want to brainstorm some ideas, AI is a great partner. So again, there are a lot of tools. You can build your own assistant based on the context, but I believe that's where you need always try speaking with AI, like your best friend, like your copilot. Market research, obviously, a lot of things could be found there, not everything. So it doesn't mean that market research now is fully AI based. No, you still need to search for specific things, but you can find something new from the AI. So you can even analyze your competitors, and I've seen great model that was built by one product manager, which basically tracks all changes and updates from key competitors. So just parses their websites, analyze updates, and put it like one database of all competitors' moves. So that's a very good idea. And again, in this area, I see with a deep research and many other features, you can apply AI. If you do it, I personally start with it and iterate, not just running the deep research once. You always iterate. And social listening. So actually, it's one of the biggest problems. I still don't understand why it's very hard to pull data from social media, analyze reviews, analyze people's comments. But still, that's where your AI could help. Obviously, not all social mentions could be accessible. So, for example, LinkedIn is very close social media, but at the same time, a lot of tools like BrandWatch or other tools, they use AI in order to analyze the social media mentions and reviews and get some insights from them. And two very specific things like organizing roadmaps and goal setting. Obviously, it's closer to strategy and the high level product vision that you're working on. I would recommend you to try Zentric. So it's a very great tool, and we're in touch with George, who is CEO of this tool. And it actually sometimes builds very interesting initiatives that you never thought about, because it helps to drive this goal setting process with the AI. In the area of customer, I would suggest two or four actually things to try. So first of all, it's called synthetic user testing. Does anybody know about that? Just for my better understanding, guys. It's a new area, maybe no one. Okay, so all right, so I see that nobody knows. Okay, guys, so what is synthetic user testing? It's a simulation of the user persona and answers based on the user profile. The tool is called Synthetics Users. The founder is also very accessible if you want to try. I mean, I'm not promoting that, but I'm just sharing actually what really helps. So you can simulate interviews based on different customer profiles. And even customer profiles you can play around. So that's a very interesting tool, and it gives you different insights. So I would suggest you to try. But if you've got a lot of users with a real, a lot of interviews with the real users, then I would suggest you to try Y User. It's also an AI-based tool that helps you to get insights and run interviews from the real users, and that's insane. I mean, it helps to speed up your customer development process and the way how you understand user needs. Some tools helps you to summarize and extract some key ideas automatically. So a lot of note takers obviously do that, but I personally suggest to create transcription like we do it today and share it with your agent where you've got some product context. So that would be much more efficient. Persona creation, fully automated. I've got a product like FounderPal where you can do that, but I believe that now it just helps you to simulate different users and different interviews, because in this particular example, synthetic users, they allow you to integrate it with a simulation of interviews. But now I believe persona creation is fully automated. And market segmentation, that's a very important part. I've been working on that in the previous 2 years, analyzing data about users and trying to build automated profiles and segment your users somehow in order to label most active, label the different groups, so clusterize them, Now that's not a case anymore. It can be done easily. Also want to share my personal top 3 things for analytics area. So I don't know if you're using Clarity in your products. It's mostly for web-based products, but you can have the similar ones with Amplitude, if you know this tool, or Mixpanel, if you're using it for analytics. Now AI can analyze sessions automatically and suggest your features. So that's a recording of our platform, Product Map platform, and the way how user interacts. So it's a session like 15 minutes, and you've got here the report from AI, what could be optimized and what was engaging feature, what was not engaging feature with the time codes. Again, it's done automatically. You just need to plug in it and it works. So again, very simple one, very simple tip. So all these behavioral and data insights now could be generated, same as analysis of all experiments that you are running. So A/B tests now could be summarized with the AI, same as user feedback analysis. What I said previously, it's more about customers, but at the same time, now if you've got this data from your analytical storage, now you can process it and get some insights automatically. As an example, even if it's not in your storage, for example, we've got the Google Search Console where a lot of things about SEO is coming. You can export this data and put it as input to your agent. So even if it's manual job, export and import, then you still can analyze some trends and do it with the AI. So you don't need to build scripts, or even you can use AI in order to build scripts. And that's my fourth topic, so processes. Obviously, sprint planning, building scope, feature prioritization, and task generation is changed. So now the way how we create, as product managers, we create feature specifications could be very detailed. So I once tried to split tasks on the subtasks based on the responsibilities of front-end team, back-end team, design, QA, and it perfectly works because almost every time it's the same. So you can also pull data from your Jira or whatever tool you're using in order to learn on this data, and after that apply some principles how you do that for the next task generation. Same for the scoping, same for the sprint planning or adjusting your roadmaps. I've seen tools that do adjustment of roadmaps based on the inputs. So if you share like something's changed and you're explaining it in the prompt, then some things could be adjusted and reprioritized automatically. So again, very simple tool, and sometimes helps you to automate your processes. But I'm a big fan of the coding, so I've been coding a lot. So here you can see Cursor is one of the big, like my personal copilots. I've been using many of them, but I just love this one. Where I can find, so obviously you can build tools, you can code with the AI right now, but I would suggest to try two things. First one is to simulate feature logic before building it. So you're actually implementing something like a simulator of the way how people use your tool, and it helps you actually to create something like a tested or a guided simulation where some things are clicked in your interface, or it's not even the interface. You can test the logic if it's a workflow or flow. I've been using it for some order statuses tracking, and we've been building the tool for supply chain where we've been testing things and simulating, and we build such workflows automatically with the AI. And it also helps to build test cases. So previously, all cases, they've been developed by quality assurance engineers, but now you can also automate things based from code. So you just straight away go to the let's say test cases and some specific scenarios. And the last thing, that's a very open topic, so I would love to hear your thoughts, guys, what you are using. But in the people area, obviously you can run interviews and do things with the AI. A lot of avatars exist. I'm not a big fan of it. I care about ethics and culture. I usually use AI just to improve the communication, knowledge sharing, and organizing the cross-functional collaboration. So first of all, if you've got one single knowledge of your product, and you've got the shared workspace of key artifacts, in this case it's Atlassian, yeah. But I'm also using Linear and Notion. I'm not a big fan of any of these tools. But at the same time, you can use AI to generate relevant outputs. If you can just ask in the chat of very specific questions. So, for example, what was in the latest release? It builds you all information with all tickets and everything automatically. So just a quick search, right, using the database that you've collected. So that's very important because now you can always keep your knowledge in the text format. And after that, AI can generate very relevant outputs and help you to find the information quicker. So I don't know how often you use Notion, but they also got the same tool. It allows you to search on a very specific area or a section or on a specific page, and apply AI for searching the relevant content. At the same time, it perfectly summarizes things. So if you've got the whole customer feedback there, you can also run the simple query in order to build the main points from the database that we've got. And what's important in the knowledge sharing and the communication is to organize your prompt library. I don't know, do you have anything in your team where everyone can access prompts and use them? But we put all prompts on GitHub, so we version control them. We keep an eye on the way how we improve them, and it helps to a lot to keep the team in the same with the same context. So just as an example, if you use, for example, AI for a release notes generation, everybody can do that if you keep this prompt somewhere in an accessible place, right? So you can put it on a wiki, you can put it on a GitHub. It's more question how you use that. But the last point here, a lot of routine ops like change logs, release notes, specifications for handoff from design to development, or quality assurance scenarios now can be built automatically if you keep the same prompt. Almost everyone can do that, or you can even build an agent that does it automatically. So that's one of the things that I would suggest. I also got many other suggestions. We've got it on our platform. So if you want to try and find different use cases for user research, for example, how to use prompts for some specific features around metrics and financial metrics, requirements management, prioritization, facilitation, many topics available. I shortened the list just to keep it more practical. I've got one practical tip for you. If you're not storing and structuring your knowledge in a LLM-friendly format, you should do that. A lot of people have been using Miro boards or something like where you can do visual interfaces. It's great, but not very great in terms of LLMs. So it's very hard to process them. Just recently, Figma built a new feature where you can run MCP server in order to get data from Figma and run LLM agents based on them, based on the docs. But it's not the same thing as keeping everything structured in the right format. So what works perfectly is Markdown. It's very light and it has the whole idea. Also, some spreadsheets work well, but avoid images or heavy documents because it will kill the context for your AI models. So the simple tip is start collecting everything in a text format, even if it's a Jira or something, you can always export that. And all tools that you are using, I suggested many of them. So for example, if you will use synthetic user testing, or Zentric, you can always pull this context, put it there, and use it as a main driver for all decisions that you will run with the AI. But that's basically the end. Now, MD files, yeah, we store a lot of things there. So I agree with you, Assad. So I just learned about Tana.inc more as a workspace and knowledge management. I'll have a look. Actually, I haven't seen this one. But if it's got an API, for example, like Notion, I think everything works. So whatever is accessible from the code works perfectly. I'll have a look. Thanks for sharing. Maybe I will add it in a slide later. So yeah, guys, it's basically the end of my talk. So again, last points just to highlight everything what we covered today. If you want to share your opinion, I always very welcome it. So again, feel free to jump in. I believe now the interest in product manager is growing, so people can build products. Knowing what to build now is the main question. So you're always focusing on what to build and why. As a product managers, obviously, the skill set is almost the same, but the range of responsibilities is changing based on the company. So that's why we cover the enterprise model of PMs and startup PM, just to show you the difference that now the industry is more flexible, but the scope is changing. That's why you still need the whole radar, right? So you need to tackle each particular skill and not just to be T-shaped, but cover everything at least on a middle level, right? And what are my top 3 takeaways from this webinar? So first of all, structure your own growth, even if it's your model. Try to build something that helps you to make the right directions. Keep an eye on the structure. So even if it's a wheel, you can always pick whatever sector you like. Second thing is PM skills involving. So try something where you've got more gaps than improving very specific skill that you already got. So for example, if you're not very well familiar with coding, maybe you should try it. Even understanding what LLM writes for you is a very essential skill. So if you're not writing code by yourself, at least you can understand that. But it's not only about software engineering, right? So if you've never been focusing more on people, maybe you should start reading and learning more about facilitation techniques and what could you bring to the system in order to, I don't know, bring the better product culture, or at least engage your stakeholders or team members into some interesting activities. So sometimes you just need to have fun with your team, right? So why not? And yeah, use of AI is not longer optional. So try to embed AI in the different areas, or for different skills, or for the different steps of the product lifecycle. I suggested some ideas. Obviously, there are many of them. I'm just sharing my experience. I don't want to talk about what I'm not doing or not capable to do. But you can play with your data, you can play with your backlog, you can even build things quicker now. So that's my suggestion, that just to try things and be open for everything new. But yeah, thanks everyone. That's the last slide from me. Again, we can have a Q&A session if you want. We're a bit off time, but you can find me on LinkedIn. Feel free to follow. You can check the product map. I'm not pushing that. And if you want to try assessment, you can always try it. It's free. Why not? But yeah, that's the end.
Thanks a lot, Matvey. Thank you, everybody. I just want to ask about something you mentioned. Maybe you can have another chat about it. The synthetic testing and the simulations for the features. Yeah, these are really interesting. Yeah, let's have a chat about them later. Yeah. Maybe on a webinar with everybody.
Maybe
And
I will prepare something just to show you, because it looks like it's a very practical thing, right? I need to demonstrate.
yeah, it needs to be practical. Yeah,
If it
definitely.
sounds cool or interesting, why not? I'll prepare something, and maybe we can have a webinar or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Let's discuss that. Great. Loved the engagement for everybody. Thank you very much. I'll share the screen now if there's anyone not with us on the WhatsApp channel.
Mhm.
Let me share the screen just a sec.
Do you want me to stop presenting?
No need. Just a second. I'll just present the.
Guys, I'm reading comments. Thanks a lot for your feedback. I personally love that you like the topic and we've got so much engagement, because that's very important thing, to talk with each other and share the feedback. We're all doing the same stuff. I'm joining the WhatsApp channel right now.
Yeah, definitely. It's the where we share our announcements and everything. Because the group is overflowed. So yeah, that's where we share everything. So please, whoever not in the channel, please join us. And again, thank you, Matvey, for your time. We really appreciate it. We'll definitely discuss further about moving forward. Maybe the hands-on webinar for the synthetic testing and other stuff.
Ron, thanks for the feedback. And again, guys, feel free to reach out, ask me anything. You've got my contacts, direct messages or whatever. I always try to be very responsive. So now you know me, I know you. Feel free to reach out. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, have a nice evening, Matvey.
Thank you very much. Yeah, have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. Thanks, Asad.